Now, although this person claims that these are lies and dishonesties against Jesus exposed, I think what they really expose is themselves in how they are using dishonesty to express what they claim to be dishonesties against Jesus. Now, the overwhelming majority of information that they posted on here is actually correct, and I will not go over each one of them. But I can show you how they have taken certain things and made dishonest claims about them. Now, no one, to my knowledge, has claimed that the Jesus story is a direct copy of any of these pre-demigods or gods that people in times have worshipped. But that each one of these demigods or gods are aspects and teachings in the Mediterranean area that were taught long before there was a Jesus character, and certain aspects of each one of these characters were brought to bear on the Jesus story. For instance, when you talk about Horus, there is no story in Horus, nor has there ever been any claim that Horus was born from a virgin. Everybody knows that in the story, his mother Isis was married to his father Osiris. The claim is that Horus was born by a miraculous birth, and that miraculous birth was the fact that after Seth had tricked Osiris into being trapped in this coffin, he then was cut up into pieces, and every piece was found except for his ping. Now, Isis then took his ping and connected it to, she took an obelisk and connected it to where his ping would be, and then she hovered above it so that Horus could be born. And this is really an astrological story of how the belt of Osiris, which in the Greek is the belt of Orion, points directly to the womb of Isis, which is the biggest star, the dog star, which is a star Sirius. And on December 25th, it points directly to where the sun is going to rise and begin to have longer days than previous weeks and months. So it is the rebirth of the sun, the birth of the sun, which Horus is a representation of the sun, who was later merged in with Ra. So it is not that they are saying that Horus was born of a virgin, but that he had a miraculous birth. You see, each one of these are about a miraculous birth. Dionysus, they use the story of, I believe, Dionysus, where he's talking about how Zeus came in the physical form as an impersonation of the husband of Dionysus' mother, and impregnated his mother to have the demigod, son of God, Dionysus, which demonstrates the idea of God coming and having and impregnating the Virgin Mary, so-called Virgin Mary. It is not that the story is exactly the same, but there are elements of that story of gods impregnating women. That is the motif that was taken in order to create your Jesus story. And yes, Dionysus being the god of wine, he would have turned water to wine many times. So although some of these things are true, most of the things that this person who posted this is true, but what they're missing is the intellectual honesty to say that aspects of these stories were taken and utilized to create your Jesus story. And then some of them were just outright incorrect. Horus had 12 disciples. Dionysus had a whole bunch of disciples, but he did have main teachers who went out and taught his message. So did Mithra, as well as Krishna. And Krishna was to come and save you from your sins or help you in your recasting to a higher caste, trying to get you to the caste of Brahma. And the same with Horus, who takes on the weight of your sin when your heart is heavier than a feather. And then hopefully after Anubis and the 13 elders conference about you, that you will then be allowed to go and live in the field of reeds with Osiris in the Egyptian heaven. So although this person took this information, this fact-checked information, and tried to make it seem like it's dishonest claims against Jesus, nobody claims the stories are exact. If they did write the stories exact, then everybody would know that they are writing a forgery. So you have to change up your story, kind of like how for me as a comic book purist, when I read Age of Apocalypse or, Extinction Agenda or any of the Marvel movies that's come out, they are not exactly as the comic books versions of them, because they take artistic liberties to make the stories different. And this is the same thing with the Jesus story. It's just artistic licenses to make the story different, so that when this was pushed towards the Greco-Roman people, they would see the familiarity in things they already worship, which would make it easier for them to convert over to this religion, because it was familiar things. So the dishonesty is looking for, or claiming, that people like myself and others are saying that they directly copied. No, they took aspects and created the motif. So keep on thinking critically, and always remember, y'all have a great day. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.